Welcome to the Community Difference Frisco, powered by the Difference Media LLC, and hosted by Brian Poduska with Real Property Management Focus, and also sponsored by Jax Crider with PBJ Mortgage,
Lauren Gill with My Live, Love, Travel,
Debbie Watson with Abracadootle, Bethany Rowan with the B. Rowan Realty Group, Tracy Churchman with Best Buddies,
Eric Buchanan with Goosehead Insurance, and by Meena Singh, college counselor and prep coach.
The Community Difference Frisco was created to serve as a platform for local leaders and business professionals to showcase their expertise, values, and commitment to their community. Overall, the podcast aims to create a stronger sense of community in North Texas by highlighting the often overlooked or unnoticed good work being done by local leaders, businesses, and professionals. So sit back and relax as our host, co-host, and their guests share inspirational stories, experiences, thoughts, and insights about being a professional, along with the opportunities for our businesses to serve our communities in very special ways. Because the Community Difference Frisco starts now.
Well, good afternoon, Frisco, and welcome to the Community Difference Frisco. We are a podcast firmly rooted at the intersection of business development and community involvement. I'm your host, Brian Poduska. I am the owner of Real Property Management Focus, where we focus on your real estate investments right here in Frisco, Texas, and all over the DFW area. You are watching episode number 54 of the Community Difference. We are already in week 2, or show 2, I should say, of the new year. So happy New Year if you're tuning in for the first time this year. If you have not seen the show before, we are a community-based podcast, as the name suggests. We have two rotating co-hosts who bring on a guest every week. So we have 2 guests from the community on every single week. Those guests fit into one of 5 different types of categories. That would be a business owner and entrepreneur, a community leader, so like a mayor or city council member, something like that, a Frisco ISD leader, a nonprofit leader, and a sports leader. So one of those 5 types of people are our guests. We are Sports City USA, after all, here in Frisco. And we do have some sports-related sponsors, i.e. the Frisco Rough Riders are one of them. So that is our show. As I mentioned, we do have rotating co-hosts. We also have a rotating business topic every month. Our business topic in the month of January is Blueprint to Breakthrough Business Growth, how to create a clear strategy that sets you apart from competitors. So we will dive into that here in a little bit. What I want to do right now is bring on my co-host for today, Miss Jax Crider with PBJ Mortgage. There she is. Hi, Jax. Good to see you. How are you today?
I'm doing okay, as long as my computer is gonna, stay with me. It's trying to freeze on me, so I apologize, everybody listening, if it acts crazy.
Well, we've managed through some technological challenges before in the past. Also, I should mention we are a live stream here in a podcast, so what you see is what you get. So if we do indeed run into some technical difficulties, we'll manage through them. Stick with us. But so far, so good. You spun up a little bit when you came in, but you're looking good now. Love that sweater. It's you're preparing for Valentine's Day, huh?
I know. It is actually my favorite holiday, not because of what it stands for. I just like all the colors and the hearts, and it's like happiness. I don't know. I think it's fun, especially when it's kind of cold outside and, we're trying to conjure up spring. Like, let's get back to warmer weather.
A little bit of warmth. I like it. Absolutely. Especially this coming cold front. I think it's supposed to get really cold this weekend. So
I know.
With that, though, why don't you remind the audience who you are, what you do, and then I'd like you to introduce your guest today, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I would love that. So first of all, my name is Jax Crider, and I do run PBJ Mortgage, where we are making mortgage simple. Simple is making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and we delve into all things financial. I also deal with some I have a program called Financial Mastery Simplified, where we do a lot of like one-on-one and group coaching surrounding all the financial space, because the ultimate goal is just for people to live life on their terms. And I'm super excited about my guest today. Her name is Jodie. Jodie. She's actually the president of the Frisco chapter of the Babes in Business, which if you guys remember, Christina Love, she was on, and she's actually like kind of one of the co-creators of that organization, which is really awesome. But she also is a fabulous luxury photographer. So she's like won awards for it. She is just a super amazing person, very amazing woman. So welcome, Jodie, to the difference.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me, Jax and Brian.
Yeah,
Yes,
well, thank you so
absolutely.
much for joining us today. Great to see you. One question for you before we kick off here. What are you most excited about being in Frisco or doing business in Frisco?
Yeah, if I had to pick the top thing, it definitely is the community and the women, especially that I spend a lot of time with. They're all incredible, whether they're business owners or just part of the community. They are amazing.
Awesome. Well, that is definitely true. And we've had quite a few on through the course of the community difference here over the last year. So awesome. Love that answer. Look forward to learning a little bit more about you here later in the show. What we're going to do now, I'm going to introduce our next guests, and I'm saying guests plural because we're going to have two on one screen, and they would be Hoyt and Dawn Lower, owners of Mudbugs Bar and Grill in Frisco, Texas, which recently relocated to Preston Road and Main Street, and they are partnered with the Revel Patio Grill. Hoyt and Dawn are from Jennings, Louisiana, outside of Lafayette. And in their own words, Lafayette is Cajun country. New Orleans is not. So take that, New Orleans.
I was going to say, I have a friend who's from Lafayette. And she would probably say the same thing.
All right. Well, that's good to hear. So as such, the restaurant features authentic family Cajun recipes. Their menu is full of family recipes, and their crawfish comes from Hoyt's family farms. Millie Mo's etouffee is Hoyt's mom's recipe and named after her. Dawn's grandmother's recipes are bread pudding, and shrimp and corn chowder have been real crowd pleasers according to the results. The couple regard themselves as very hands-on and can often be found cooking or washing dishes. In Hoyt's words, I like to get out of the kitchen, touch tables, visit with people, make sure they are taken care of, and answer questions they have, Hoyt said. A lot of people are first-timers and want to know how to peel crawfish. I, too, am not an expert at crawfish peeling, but Hoyt is true in his words. That's how I met him originally. So let's bring them on, Lyndon, and say hello to Hoyt and Dawn Lower.
I was going to say, they didn't teach you crawfish peeling in Chicago, Brian? What
No,
the heck?
I did not. I skipped that day when they were teaching that in the Chicago area. How are you guys doing today? Good to see you.
Hey, we're doing good. Thank you all for having us.
Yeah, for sure. Well, happy to have you guys and happy to see that your technology is working. We are pulling them out of their comfort zone. This is Hoyt's first time as being on a podcast. Lauren, yes, she loves the gumbo at Mudbugs. See, so we're already getting positive feedback on the Mudbugs food. So I'm going to ask you guys the same question, and then we're going to cut to commercial break. But what do you enjoy most about Frisco?
Oh man, the moving from Central Louisiana, where we actually lived for 30 years. This is Frisco for us. We've been here almost 8 years. I would say it's really a breath of fresh air. Everything is very progressive, whether it's residential or commercial construction. I think it's just everything is continually progressing and moving forward. I mean, the diversity around here is fantastic. Anything you want to do, you can pretty much find to do it here. I mean, we've been very pleased with our decision to move to this area.
Okay, well, we're glad to hear that, and we're glad that you're here and supplying
We're
the
also
area.
thankful for great food. I'm liking that everyone's moving here and bringing their food with them. Like, that's ideal for me. Bring all your food.
That's
please.
correct.
Yeah,
You're correct.
you mentioned the diversity here in Frisco, and you're absolutely right, Jax. You guys bringing your Cajun, not New Orleans. I'm going to be very clear about that, but your Cajun
Correct.
recipes. I know it has quite the big following, and it's really appreciated here locally. So with that, guys, we'll dive a little bit deeper into your guys' business and you guys as a couple a little bit later in the show. But right now, we're going to give our sponsors some love, and we'll come back and we're going to talk about what's going on in Frisco.
The Community Difference Frisco is made possible by Brian Poduska with Real Property Management Focus, Bethany Ralwin with the Beer Ralwin Realty Group, Tracy Churchman with Best Buddies, Jacqueline Crider with PBJ Mortgage, Debbie Watson with Team Watson Redeemers, Eric Buchanan with Goosehead Insurance, Meena Singh, college counselor and prep coach, and by Lauren Gill with My Live, Love, Travel. The Community Difference Frisco. Together, we can make the difference. And now, back to the show.
Are you ready?
Because it's time for
What's up, Frisco?
All right, welcome back. We have a viewer all the way from Hawaii, Miss Bethany Rowan. Impressive. Bethany is one of our
there's dedication, Brian. She's like,
That
I love the
is.
show so much. We're watching from Hawaii.
What is there, a 5-hour difference, I want to say? So, yeah, we're in the morning time.
I know it's a long time because remember I did it early in the morning. Like I did that show live from Hawaii.
Well, next time we'll get a little heads up and we'll do a What's Up Hawaii segment.
That's 3 from Hawaii this year, isn't it? We had Diane, Jax, and now Bethany.
Uh-huh.
So,
I was
That's
gonna say
right.
when we
We need
did
to
one
take-
of
maybe
them,
we need
was
to take
it
a group
Christmas or
trip.
Thanksgiving that Diane did from Hawaii? I think it was Christmas.
As much as we love Frisco, we may need to relocate at least temporarily to 4-hour difference. We may need to relocate temporarily to Hawaii. I mean, here's my arm. You can twist it. Go right ahead.
I'm in.
Yeah, we're
go.
good.
I was gonna say
Let's
we
go.
could just do like I feel like it could be a business expense. We just need to do like one live episode from Hawaii, right? That'll be fine.
Hashtag
Good
goals,
point.
as
That's a
Lauren
great
says
point.
there in the comments. She's absolutely right. Hashtag goals.
I'm pretty sure
All right.
Lauren can plan it. So there you go.
That's right. That's right. All right. We got Debbie Watson also chiming in. Good to hear from you, Debbie. And yes, another one with a favorable review for the Mudbugs menu. All right. Let's get focused here. Let's talk about what's going on in Frisco. So, Jax, I'm going to kick it over to you first. Ladies first, as we always do on the show. So go ahead and tell us what's going on in Frisco. Jax, can you hear me?
I can.
Uh-oh. Okay. I got you.
Am I freezing?
Yeah, I got you a little bit of a delay.
Apologies.
Okay. Why
Told
don't you go
that My
ahead?
computer's trying to kill me.
Yeah. Why don't
Okay.
you go ahead?
Lyndon, I think we're gonna splash up the casino night first. Is that right? No, okay, lunch and learn. Perfect. Let's talk about BDA. That's fine. We can do BDA first. Okay, so the BDA, what is this? This is the Business Development Alliance. It is something that is super unique to the Community Difference. It's basically like a free networking opportunity, but also packed full of great information with business growth. We have an amazing guest speaker. His name is Jim Thomas. This is actually one of the mentors of the creators of the Difference. So it's a great opportunity. It is going to be Thursday, January 23rd. It's going to be at lunch from 11:30 to 1 o'clock. It's going to be at Love and More in Texas. That's roughly at Plano Parkway and 75 right there in Plano. And we've had amazing response. So originally we were going to cap it at about 30, 40 people, and we already have 55 guests. We've got about another 10 slots. So if this is something that you're interested in, you definitely need to get signed up ASAP because we only have about 10 slots left. So please come join us, learn some, meet some amazing people. I think most of us are gonna be there. So we definitely highly encourage you to check this out. I think next up, Lyndon, correct me if I'm wrong, it is going to be the charity event for oh my goodness,
Yeah,
Carson's
1 second.
Crusaders.
Here it comes.
Okay, yeah, no worries.
It's loading slow.
Yeah, that's okay. So Saturday, February 1st, for those of you guys who are not familiar with Carson's Crusaders, they are a local charity. They help families who are going through cancer with their children to try to help support and take some of the pressure off during this really difficult time in their lives. And so Saturday, February 1st, they are going to be doing a charity poker tournament. So it is an opportunity. You can either buy in as just like a spectator. You can buy in as like somebody who's going to play. Like I'm kind of a spectator. I'm definitely not a player. My husband would be the player, but it's a good opportunity to play some poker, have some fun, hang out with some people. Very last but not least, and there's not a splash screen for this, Lyndon, but this Saturday from 2 o'clock to 4 p.m. This is going to be down in Dallas. So a little bit of ways, but it's in the chapel of the Austin Street Center on 1717 Jeffrey Street in Dallas. This is going to be a book fair. I actually am participating with my book, but it's going to support the homeless shelter down there. So it's an opportunity for us to give back to the community, to support some local authors and things like that. So I highly recommend people come out. It's just a really good opportunity, like I said, to support that homeless shelter. And we might freeze our rears off a little bit, but that's okay. We'll enjoy it. It'll be fine. I'll kick it back to you, Brian.
All right, perfect. Well, we're going to be freezing our rears off next week, that's for sure. So, all right, Jodie, I think you wanted to share a little bit about what your organization, your networking organization, does with all the women in Frisco. So go right ahead and talk about that if you don't mind.
Yes, wonderful. So the Frisco Babes in Business, we're like a chapter of a bigger group, which is the Global Women's Empire. But they not only support other business owners that are women or entrepreneurs in our community so that they have kind of like a sounding board with other business women, because, I mean, we're kind of multifaceted when it comes to women in business. And so with all of our roles, so we have networking groups that meet every week in Frisco. Our day is Monday. But not only are we supporting those women, but we actually meet at different locations that are all locally owned restaurants. So it's kind of fun to have the Hoyts on here today, because we actually meet at locally owned restaurants, so that we take our big groups of, like, let's say 30 women, at that luncheon or whatever, to that restaurant, so that we're pouring our money back into our community, because as business owners, we know just how difficult that is sometimes, especially right now, and for the restaurants. So anyway, so we travel throughout the city and we meet at these different locations so that we're supporting those businesses as well as our women in their businesses.
Well, that's awesome. And that's one of the things that, we have an acronym here on the show. It's called MESH, MESH, make exceptional, and I'm going to say it, make exceptional shit happen. So we are meshing on the show, giving opportunities to, connect your women business networking organization with the potential restaurant owner and making exceptional stuff happen. It wasn't planned that way, but that's what happens when we meet new people, right? So yeah. Hopefully that would be an opportunity for both of you guys.
Absolutely.
So, well, thank you for sharing that, Jodie. Appreciate that. All right, so I'm going to go next. I've got a host of different slides to talk about. What I'm going to do, I don't have a slide on this one, but it is time pertinent. So if you're watching this live, this afternoon at 4 p.m. is the groundbreaking of the mix. So we have talked about the mix before on the show. I did have a graphic on it before, but again, I didn't bring it into in front of Lyndon, so he's not going to be able to put it up. But the mix is essentially the project that's taking over the project formerly known as Wade Park, or informally known as the Hole by the Toll. So that is officially breaking ground today. Obviously a huge step forward for the city. So I'm excited about that. And if you're free at 4 p.m. today, head over to the Hole by the Toll and you'll be able to participate in the groundbreaking. All right, with that, Lyndon, go ahead, and if you don't mind going in the order that I have. There you go. So I'm trying to do this time-based or date-based. So Frisco is holding Unity Day. It is all about Martin Luther King and Martin Luther King Day, right, which is Monday. But the event here is on Saturday, January 18th, 10 a.m. to noon. It is at the Purefoy Municipal Center right there in downtown Frisco. They are also raising funds for, driving. They have a food drive to benefit Frisco Family Services. So bring either canned or packaged foods donations with you when you go to that event. All right, next up, City Hall 101. I mentioned this last week. So the deadline to sign up for this is coming up. It's, I think, the middle or the end of January is when it starts. So January 27th is when it starts. There are 40 spots in this class. What it is, it's basically a swim through City Hall, right? You're going to hear from the mayor. You're going to meet with different city managers, department directors, et cetera, and learn all about the things that go into running a massive city like Frisco. So I highly recommend it. It's a free program. You do have to apply and be approved for it. There's 40 spots left. Awesome program. It meets on Monday evening, 6 to 8 p.m., again, starting January 27th. Next one is very similar, the Citizens Fire Academy class. So this is basically a swim through everything that the fire department does. Awesome activities here. You get to learn about all the things that the fire department does. You get to actually participate in a vehicle extrication, not a live one, obviously, but there is a Saturday set aside to show you the tools and the process of saving somebody from an entrapment in a vehicle. So all kinds of awesome stuff here. This one, it starts a little bit later, February 27th through the 24th. It's also free. So please do sign up because spots are limited on this one. A super awesome way to learn about all the things that the fire department does, not just in front of our face, but all the operations behind it. All right, next up, the daddy-daughter dance coming up. It's February 8th. So bring out, the theme is an emerald evening. So dads, get your daughters together and get involved in this. Similarly, there's a mom-son dance, which is the next slide, I believe. Same day, February 8th. It's earlier in the day, but their theme is high tops and high heels. So that is 2 to 3:30 p.m. Same day, February 8th. It's at the Frisco Conference Center. So get signed up for that. Those are all online at playfrisco.com. All right, and then we're going to shift over to the NAC Theater. So downtown Frisco, the NAC Theater, nice cozy theater, about 200 seats. We've got some big acts coming up. Alyssa Flaherty, she is straight from Nashville. She's coming in straight from Nashville. Check her out online before you, obviously see her at the NAC Theater, but check her out online to see just how awesome she is. She's going to be blowing up. How cool would it be to see her in a 200-seat theater right here in downtown Frisco? 8 p.m. at the NAC Theater, February 7th. Then there's a Valentine's candlelight concert. That's on Valentine's night, 7 p.m. Come on out if you're looking for a date idea to the NAC Theater for Valentine's Day, 7 p.m., February 14th. The day after that is Sing It Like Swifty. So that's on February 15th. Come on out. If you're a Swifty, if you're not, it's an open mic karaoke competition. Winners have cash prizes. How fun is this? Come on out and let your daughter sing. Or if you're an adult and you're a Swifty, come on out and sing.
I was going to say, are you
what
going
are you singing,
to be
Brian?
there, Brian, leading the charge? Or
Yeah, I'm not a self-proclaimed Swifty, but I might have to expand my horizons. As we always say, push ourselves out of our comfort zones. I might have to do that. Let's see.
You should do it.
I agree.
All right. Well, and if you're interested in more talent opportunities, here's one. Frisco's Got Talent. Just like America's Got Talent, we do it right here in Frisco at the NAC Theater. This is season 4. We've got a star-studded panel of judges. You can see them there. Crystal Howard, the CEO of the Frisco Chamber, some local business owners, Donnie Churchman there, Anissa. So they are all going to be judges on the panel. This is open to anybody, and there is a cash prize. So come on out. If you got talent, or even if you don't, like myself, come on out. Show Frisco what you got. And then we've been talking about this one as well. I'm going to mention it again briefly. This is basically Shark Tank for high school students. So it's called the Business Incubator. It's right here in Frisco ISD. 5 of the high schools here in Frisco have this program. It's essentially an incubator for entrepreneurs. And at the end of their class, they present their entrepreneurial idea, whether it's a product or a service, to a panel of investors. They decide who gets the winner, and then they can actually advance on to a national competition to eventually get their project funded if it passes through all the gatekeepers. So definitely reach out to Ashley Sign. They're looking for volunteers, anybody who is a business owner, entrepreneur in the business world, or just has time to dedicate to help with this program. They are looking for volunteers. So reach out to Ashley Sign. Her information is right there on the screen. And back to the NAC Theater. So this is March 14th. Again, straight out of Nashville. This was rescheduled from last week because of the snow that we got. So Justin Till will be coming straight from Nashville to the NAC Theater in downtown Frisco. Again, that's March 14th, 7:30 p.m. Come on out and see Justin before he blows up nationally. All right, this is hot off the presses. This was announced this week. So it's called the Pro Tour. So this is former professional athletes. This one is specific to football, so it's the Pro FTB, standing for football. This is coming to the PGA Frisco March 21st through the 23rd. It actually starts before that with the Pro-Am. What we're talking about here, guys, is a bunch of former NFL players who are going to be out. So it's kind of hard to see on the screen there, but there's some big names out there. Eric Dickerson, Marshall Faulk, some Hall of Famers, right? They're coming out to PGA Frisco. They're going to be playing in a modified Stableford format professional golf tournament, right? There's actually prizes. My guy Brian Urlacher is in the picture there. I'm a Bears fan. Urlacher is going to be there with his new head of hair. So come on out to the PGA Frisco the weekend of March 21st through 3rd. Even more fun would be that Pro-Am that's happening earlier in the week. They do have 2 warm-up days, one of which is a Pro-Am. So if you're not in the Pro-Am, just come out and see it. You're going to see a bunch of NFL studs out there trying to swing a golf club. I think it's handicapped too. So they're not all going to have the greatest swings, but they're going to be playing with a registered handicap, so it'll make it an even playing field. All right. Did we have anything else, London? I can't remember if we had any more.
That's it.
Okay,
That's it.
cool. Well, I hogged a lot of time there, but lots going on in Frisco, lots coming up in Frisco, as usual, but excited for that. And Hoyt and Dawn, I didn't want to leave you guys out. If you do have anything, if you don't, that's totally cool. Just let me know.
We're good right now.
Okay.
Roll on.
All right, awesome. With that, we're going to take another commercial break. We're going to dive into the business topic of the month after that commercial break, and that business topic, again, is Blueprint to Breakthrough Business Growth, how to create a clear strategy that sets you apart from your competitors. So we're going to talk about that next. Stay tuned.
Hey Plano, DFW, and surrounding areas. Introducing the Business Development Alliance, Networking and Business Development Reimagined. January 23, 2025. At 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. This is where connections meet strategy. Where growth meets opportunity. And where you build your future. So join us and step into the world of networking reimagined, and learn how to elevate your professional presence, build meaningful relationships, and redefine your success, all while connecting with the brightest minds in our community. Our event begins with our Power Mixer. Beginning at 11:30 a.m., where you connect with influential professionals in a lively networking session. Next at 12 p.m. you will meet our keynote speaker, Jim Thomas, Global Business Coach, discussing the power of mindset in growth and development. Finishing up our event at 12:30 will be our panel discussion. This is a live discussion with experts on behavioral branding's impact, and will be followed by an audience Q&A. Our panel includes Nathan Smith with Enfuego Financial, Bethany Rowan with Bureau and Realty Group, Lauren Gill with My Live Love Travel, Brian Poduska with Real Property Management Focus, and Jim Thomas himself. Facilitating our discussion is Lyndon Wilson, CEO and founder of the Community Difference, the Business Development Alliance Networking Group, and author of the Amazon bestseller, The Entrepreneurial Difference. And don't forget, we will also be offering prizes for attendees who RSVP and attend. Compliments of the Community Difference. These prizes will be totaling over $5,000 in value. So don't delay. RSVP now to secure your spot and qualify for these exclusive prizes. Just click the link in the comments to RSVP. The Business Development Alliance, business done differently, business done better. We'll see you on January 23rd.
Now back to the show.
All right, welcome back. I am looking forward to that event. I love that commercial, very comprehensive explanation. So you heard my name on the panel. I'm looking forward to meeting quite a few people out that day. What we're up to, over 50 people, I believe. So please do RSVP. We do have limited space. We've already secured a larger space given the response that we've gotten. So If you want to come, we'd love to see you, and please do RSVP so we can reserve you a spot for that. Okay, with that, guys, we're going to dive into the business topic of the month, and that is the blueprint to breakthrough business growth, how to create a clear strategy that sets you apart from your competitors. I'm excited to talk about this with you guys today because just our guests alone, well, number one, both myself and Jax are in the real estate industry, right? Very competitive, a very crowded industry. You guys as guests are also in very crowded spaces in a crowded landscape, whether it be in the photography world or the restaurant world for sure. Specifically here in Frisco, I feel like there's a restaurant in every single on every single corner, and then times 5. So what I want to ask you guys, what I like about this topic, right? How to create a clear strategy that sets you apart from your competitors. And I'm going to ask the lowers first. What strategy did you guys have when you decided, I've read a little bit about your story about, bringing your recipes from Louisiana to Frisco. And I know you met up with, I think it's your brother-in-law, and he was a prior restaurant owner. What strategically did you guys say that, hey, when I start my restaurant, this is going to be my strategic advantage?
It was really, I have a first cousin in Louisiana that owns 2 restaurants. So I picked his brain an awful lot just to see, input. I went over there. I worked with him for a while just to kind of get a feel. Dawn and I have been self-employed for 20 years, but the restaurant is definitely a different animal. If anybody's in the restaurant business, they understand it. It's a big learning curve for us. Strategically, we've lived here about 8 years, born and raised in Louisiana our whole lives. So this was an adjustment for us too. But I think strategically, we wanted to make it authentic. And you touched on that in the beginning. Not that incorrect. Outside of Lafayette, which is Acadiana, that's Cajun country. New Orleans has great cuisine, great culture, but it is a little bit different. You see a lot of places, not just Frisco, but all in the surrounding North Dallas area, that really are, they call them Cajun restaurants, but they might be from north part of the country. Who knows where they're from? It's just anybody can slap Cajun on something and try to make it Cajun, throw some spice on it, and it's not necessarily Cajun. So, our strategy was, it was very simple, actually. Make it as authentic as we possibly could. You also touched on that. You said, and we did, when we decided to do the restaurant, excuse me, we reached out to all friends and family, recipes, send them to us. We from South Louisiana, we didn't want cookbook stuff. We wanted it authentic. And that's kind of what we came up with. Like just my mom's etouffee, Dawn's grandmother's, a couple of her recipes, stuff like that. And I always tell people, everybody has a different taste palette. You like it or you don't like it, but it really is authentic. So that was kind of what we did. We always say we put blinders on. We really didn't focus on what other so-called Cajun or other restaurants were doing. We focused on what we wanted to do.
Yeah. I was going to say, that's your unique value proposition right there.
Right. Once we had the product down, which was our entire menu and everything, then the strategy became, okay, who's going to be our customer? And Jodie, we would love to have you in your group, because actually I built this restaurant on moms, because whenever we got ready to put that strategy into play, it was like, okay, who's going to be the customers? And it was the moms, because I was in a lot of mom groups, and I reached out to them and told them what we were doing, and just the amazing support network. You can't find this anywhere. You really can't. These women support you. When you hit the ground, they are there running with you. And all the moms pitched in, because, who decides what you're going to eat at night? Your mom. If the wife is happy, the husband's going to take her wherever, to eat. It doesn't really matter. And the moms really supported us. And that's how we built this business.
I love that. And yeah, Jack's nail. I mean, you guys have a unique product in that you are authentic Cajun, right? I'm not I'm not a Cajun food connoisseur. I certainly love it, but for those people who are, I think, Lyndon, you had said in our private chat that nobody else can see, but I saw you said, hey, I'm a huge Cajun Cajun food
You said
fan.
something about being like a nut, like a Cajun crazy person.
Yep, that would be me. I grew up in South Arkansas, which is North Louisiana, which is not Cajun country at all. But I made a lot of trips down to the southern part of Louisiana, so love it.
People can definitely tell if you're authentic or not, especially when they're from that area or they've visited. They can tell if it's the real thing or not.
I was like, with any business, especially when you're in crowded space, that unique value proposition, and yours is authenticity, right? That authentic, solid recipes like from people in that area, like that's 100% what sets you apart for sure. Jodie, I have a question for you. So obviously you're also in a really crowded space and you focus a little more on like the luxury kind of photography, right? And kind of that experience. How do you foster relationships that are deep and create trust? Because luxury, I mean, usually you're asking for a fair bit of money, right? And that's a more higher end product than just somebody who pulls out their camera and snaps a few photos, right? And calls it photography, because we have those people too, right? The hobbyist. So like, what do you do? How do you think, to kind of create that emotional connection with those clients to really deeper and foster that relationship to make them come back time and time again?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the interesting thing is, when we talk about our industry, with it being most definitely a saturated considered industry, I've been doing this for 14 years, full time. And for me, my heart's really in the community. Before I was a photographer, I actually worked on an ambulance in the ER for 7 years. So I'm very much about serving, my community and being there. And so when I did become a photographer and built this business, of course, I wanted to take the most gorgeous portraits that everyone, has ever had of themselves. But there was so much more that I wanted my clients that, crossed my path and spent time with me in my studio. I wanted so much more for them than just a gorgeous portrait. And so for me, having an angle where, of course, it's luxury, it's an all-day experience. And so that in itself, attracts people who want something a little bit more above, just your typical photography sort of experience. But then once they actually get into the studio, it's a whole different thing that most of my clients, after they've had the experience and they come back and, I'm with them for several appointments, usually a couple months, per client type of a thing, that usually they come to me and they're like, Jodie, I thought I knew what this was until I actually went through it. And oh my gosh, I can't believe, what kind of experience this is. So, loving my clients and wanting to serve them, it really is kind of like a psychology experience, disguised as a photo shoot. And so I think that, as soon as you serve people that way and you love them that way and you put them through an experience that you want them to literally change the way that they walk and talk every day and the way that they see themselves and love themselves every day, that alone is contagious. Like, my clients can't stop talking about the experience and about the life kind of change that they had with me and my team for a day in the studio. So when it comes down to it, the money doesn't mean anything to them because the value was so incredible for them and their daughters and their family and everything, that it's not just photography, if that makes sense.
Well, that's probably also your unique value proposition, right? Because you're deepening that. And I mean, and there, in my personal opinion, there's nothing deeper and more emotional than like capturing that snapshot in time, because we can never really get it back, right? It's like, I mean, what do people when they reach their older years do, right? They sit on the porch and they're flipping through the photo albums, right? Remembering those precious moments that people are capturing. But yes, it definitely is hard because you do have to create that emotional connection, really go deep to allow yourself to set yourself apart, to be a business that stands out, right, in a way that people can understand and appreciate for sure.
Yeah. Love that perspective. I've got one that I want to throw over to the lowers. guys, I know I mentioned it up front when I did your intro, but you guys recently relocated from the, I guess, west side of Frisco over to the partner with the Revel Patio Grill, right? So one of the key strategies that you can use to create a competitive advantage would be partnerships, right? And one of the things that intrigued me about your guys' story is after the original news came out that you guys were going to close the location on 423, there was a outpouring of social media love and sadness all at the same time to see that Mudbugs wasn't going to be there anymore, and then the news is still trickling out, I think, but I think there was also a wave of news that came out once you guys decided to partner with Revel. So tell me about how that partnership came about and how you guys both see it, becoming a 1 + 1 = 3 sort of situation.
So Keith Cruz, who owns the Revel, reached out to me, as so many other, people did. And he said, hey, we need to talk, and so we went and we sat down and talked to him, and he told us his concept, and Hoyt and I, felt that it was a good fit for us, because nobody had done this before. Nobody in Frisco had done it. The city didn't know how to handle it. A lot of questions were asked, and, still it's like, I think any other business venture you go through. I mean, there's always going to be hurdles every day, but the three of us are so just committed to making this work that it has just been such a great and easy transition, if that even makes sense. Because you take something like us and we're so family oriented, and you take something like them and they have such an incredible nightlife, it can work and it can come together and it can merge. As long as everybody's committed and open-minded, and everybody has been, and it's been incredible. The staff they're excited, and we're excited, and Keith is excited because there's just so many opportunities for all of us.
It does. For those of you who've been to the old restaurant on 423, it had a great vibe, very cozy. We sat 50 people. It's just little. And we'd been looking to relocate. Nothing had worked out for us. And long story short, our lease expired, and we didn't want to commit to another long-term lease in that location. So we just made the decision we're not going to. So we got the official word that the building had been released and we needed to move out, which was fine with us. We knew that. We'd continue the search. And then the Revel partnership was not even on our radar. I mean, Keith hit us up after the fact. We had already closed the doors. But like Dawn said, when we sat down and we started talking, we're like, you know what, this could be a good opportunity, because we really were literally the first dual concept restaurant in Frisco, Texas. The city really did not know how to handle, do we have 2 COs? Do we have 2 health inspections? Do we have 2 fire inspections? What do we do? It really wasn't tough. I mean, it took a couple weeks. Of course, we went through the holidays and stuff. Everybody's taking some time off, but we pretty much got all that ironed out. But it really checked all the boxes for us that we were looking for. It gave us a lot better seating capacity, a much bigger bar, live music, big patio. I mean, it worked for both of us, and not just Frisco proper, but Collin County last year, there's more than 80 restaurants that closed. I mean, it's horrible. The restaurant business is tough. So we sat down and talked about it. It's like, this could be a win-win for both of us, the Revel and Mudbugs. I mean, if you want to talk numbers, you can reduce everybody's overhead and just fill that joint up. I mean, it can really be a positive thing for all of us involved.
And Jodie, it's like you said, and it really hits home, and that's how all of us are still here. Whenever you find that strategy and you put it into play and you offer an experience, our customers come for the food and they stay for the atmosphere, because they see us, they know us, they meet us, and you build a rapport, you build a relationship. They become your family, and that's what makes you successful.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, I love that. I mean, I heard one of the key words in making that partnership work is the collaboration factor,
Correct.
right?
Something we talk about a lot.
Yeah, it's one of our buzzwords that for good reason, right? We need to collaborate, we're going to have to take a commercial break right here, real quick. But I do love the fact that you guys have different businesses, different food menu items, different concepts, right? But you looked at the vision and said we can be complementary, right? So
Correct.
people
Absolutely.
come for the food. I think you said it, Dawn. People come for the food. They stay for the atmosphere.
Right.
Somebody sees a concert coming up that they want to see at the Revel, and they say, "Oh, let's have some mud bugs beforehand," right? So it's one of those that it's a perfectly complementary business, despite the fact that you guys have potentially different clientele, right?
Correct.
We do. The Revel has a full menu as well, and that's not going away. It's just not, if you don't like Cajun food, you have options, more Americana, different options under the same roof, which we thought was kind of cool. So it's a process. Everybody's getting cross-trained, but it's so far so good. It's working.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Well, hey guys, we're going to have to take a quick commercial break. That will wrap our business section, discussion section of the show. We're going to come back and we're going to dive into you guys as our guests, learn a little bit more about you from a personal standpoint. So stay tuned for that. We will be right back.
The Community Difference would like to thank each of the following partners for their continued support. At Fireboss Realty, we believe life is about relationships, and everything else is just details. Whether you're buying or selling, Scott and Amy Johnson are here to understand your family's unique needs and deliver expert guidance on the North Texas real estate market. With a reputation for integrity and personalized service, Fireboss Realty makes your home journey stress-free and successful. Ready to make your move? Visit firebossrealty.com and let's ignite your real estate dreams.
Everyone deserves access to affordable health insurance, but with traditional insurance, costs can be high and getting coverage can be complicated. JP Direct Health is a simpler, more affordable way to get the health coverage you need. With plans for individuals, families, and small businesses, you can save money on monthly premiums without the need for physicals. At jpdirecthealth.com, we specialize in customizing coverage to fit almost every budget with affordable PPO plans and many other benefits. With over 100 5-star Google reviews, JP Direct Health is a trusted resource making health insurance affordable and accessible for everyone year-round. Affordable health insurance solutions are a proactive protection, not a reactive solution. Visit jpdirecthealth.com today and see how much you can save.
I'm always here to help. Thank you.
Total Care Emergency Room now has 9 locations in the DFW Metroplex. With no appointment needed, our incredible staff will get you checked in with no wait times. Our 5-star facility is open and fully staffed 24/7. We offer extensive treatment options for patients of all ages, providing on-site labs and imaging equipment, including CT, X-ray, and ultrasound, allowing us to provide fast, convenient care for our community. Total Care ER is your neighborhood emergency room. TotalCare.us.
Unwanted pests in your home can be stressful. From creepy crawlies to critters under the floorboards, they disrupt your peace of mind. But don't worry. All Pest Solutions is here to help. We offer a comprehensive range of safe and effective pest control solutions. We target all types of pests, big or small, including insects, rodents, and wildlife. All Pest Solutions, your local experts for a pest-free home. Breathe easy and enjoy your life again. Call today for a free quote. 972-442-1169 or email us at customerservice@allpestsolutions.com.
To belong is one of our most basic human needs. Best Buddies International is the world's largest organization dedicated to ending the social isolation of 200 million individuals who have intellectual and developmental disabilities. We focus on meaningful one-to-one friendships, integrated employment, leadership development, and inclusive living. You have the power to make an impact, create change, and champion our mission of inclusion today.
Now back to the show.
Okay, welcome back. All right, Jay, thank you for chiming in down there. Nice picture of the doggo. Love it. All right.
That's my buddy Jay.
All right. Awesome. Got buddies tuning in already. Love it. All right, guys. This is a segment of the show where we're going to just dive into you guys a little bit, get to know you. More importantly, let the audience get to know you guys a little bit better. So, as is customary, we're going to go ladies first. So, Jodie, let's start with you. Tell us what inspired you to start both your photography business and then also get involved with the leadership of the women's networking, specifically here in Frisco.
Yeah, absolutely. So, kind of going back 14 years, when I started Even Willow Portraits, I had just become a new mom. I have 4 daughters myself, so I kind of live in this whole world of women, my poor husband. And
But is your dog also female? That's a real question.
you know what? When we did have a dog, she was.
I was going to say, because my husband has 4 daughters too, and all the dogs are also female.
Yeah. He just can't escape it. But I know, right? I see you all like over there. So to be, as I was aging myself and kind of going through this experience of going from 20 to 40, and really kind of getting to know, not only me as a business owner, but me as a woman, and kind of like the shifts and changes and everything that we go through. When I started loving photography, and having that family and everything, it really shifted between, let's take pretty pictures, to really the heart of women. And, we see a lot of things, especially when it used to be just magazines, billboards, whatever it is. We saw a lot of things, and women measure themselves up to things. And a lot of them aren't in reality, not the women, but the things we see aren't in reality. And I would hear the moms talk to me all the time about what they were experiencing and what they were doing, especially for like photographing their kids. And so I realized very quickly that there really was a calling to really hold a woman's hand through this life process of, these shifts and changes of what they think and view of themselves, let alone their motherhood, let alone, generations where, for instance, I've lost my mom. So I know exactly how valuable these portraits are that I have of her. And so you have all these different journey, pinpoints for a woman specifically. And I was really blessed early on in this process to actually partner up for 10 years with Operation Underground Railroad, where we were both in the same city hub. And we became very good friends, when they were a lot smaller. And I was able to bring a lot of their rescued girls and women and put them through our experience, that they could reconnect to themselves and their bodies specifically in new ways and more beautiful ways, and a very elegant way, from what they had experienced, in their life, even at a very early age. And so for me, the reason why I kind of grew the business, as we all know, our business kind of starts as something, and then it kind of like you follow the breadcrumbs and it blossoms into something else. But the reason and the heart behind that is being a woman, knowing what women go through, working with Operation Underground Railroad and seeing a daily impact of just loving yourself more and loving yourself in a different way. It's not just that person, it impacts their entire life. It impacts their family and impacts, their interactions and themselves and their kids, and it just passes on for generations. And so it was a deeper work that I wanted to do, and using kind of a medium of photography and a print where you could see yourself and believe, what we, a lot of times don't see in ourselves, that other people see. And or because we are faced with all this stuff in front of us, like magazines and everything, for them to go through an experience where they go, oh my gosh, I totally understand these billboards that I see or these magazines that I see. Like I am that. Like it's not a lesser thing. Like I am that. And I know what goes into producing a magazine cover. And now they view that, in their life a little bit differently. So that was kind of the whole heart behind, doing this style of photography business, and where my heart is still in it, over a decade later.
Wow, that's awesome. I love that story. That's fantastic, and what a great perspective to wake up and do something that you love every single day. Coming from that perspective is powerful. I love that. Awesome. All right. Well, let me ask you one more question, and then we'll go over to the lowers. What do you like to do in your free time? Number one, and number two, since now that I know your husband is on an island as a male in your family, what does he do to escape? Does he play golf, or what's his deal?
Oh, he wishes he could play golf more than he does, because he actually loves
We all
golf.
do. Yeah, I
Right?
get it.
Yeah. Well, and
That's
we
what
were
Brian would
being-
only do if he had a choice.
Yeah,
Right?
it's
Yeah.
we have to make choices in life. I get that.
Yeah, I know. I feel bad for him. And not only were we already drowning in like the world of girls, but we actually had like a surprise baby this year, or this past year. And she was a girl too, so he just like drowned even more. But
Icing on the cake. I love it. Congratulations.
right? Yes, thank you. So what I like to do in my free time, I do have 4 girls, so you all know, family life is busy outside of business. But the beautiful thing is my husband and I actually work full time together. And so our girls have grown up in the studio literally since the day they were born. They've seen us serve, entrepreneurship really is every moment of every second in our household. And because we actually get to do this work together. So even our free time, I feel like is just a beautiful kind of mesh of entrepreneurship and kind of extending that to our girls who are growing up in a probably very different way than a lot of girls, especially when I was growing up, and what my experience was. So that's kind of what we do on our free time, is it's just like a family culture of, serving and building things. So.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. What a unique experience for your girls too. That's so cool.
I was gonna say, I love you're raising a really strong generation of women. Me too. That was super important to me with having all girls, is like making them realize that, hey, you can do just as many things as anybody else. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, and to kind of break the, the cycles of, self-value is really, where it's at. So yeah.
Love that. Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to Hoyt and Dawn. All right, so we've gotten a little bit of your story, obviously, as we were talking about the development of the restaurant and things like that. But I guess question for you to kick things off on your story. What inspired you to make that move from Louisiana to Frisco, and why Frisco? Like, I heard the results and what you like about Frisco, but what made you choose Frisco coming from Louisiana?
Golf, believe it or not.
Nice.
Brian loves that answer. He thinks that's the best thing ever.
Anytime you're ready, buddy.
Sweet. Let's go.
Actually, so we have 2 children. Our daughter is a veterinary technician with a specialty in anesthesiology, and she actually works here in Frisco for a vet who is from Louisiana. And our son moved with us, and he's actually a PG. He has his PGA card.
He and his wife both are Class A PGA pros.
Okay.
We moved to Frisco because he went to the golf academy down in Farmers Branch.
Okay.
And so that's how we got to Frisco, Texas.
That was our excuse. We wanted to move.
Yeah.
Been wanting to move out of Louisiana, for a fresh start. We had some good friends that live in Flower Mound. So we'd come up here and visit. We liked the area. In a prior life, I guess, Dawn had 2 women's clothing boutiques for 10 years. So we were always coming to Dallas Market, Apparel's Market, downtown on Stemmons Freeway.
Downtown.
Yeah, sure.
We just really fell in love with the DFW area. I mean, we didn't really know Frisco was the home for us, but we just knew we liked this North Dallas area, and this is where we ended up.
Well, that's pretty awesome. So are you guys fired up for the PGA Frisco? When the announcement was made a couple of years ago, and
Yeah, it's exciting. Both of so our son and our daughter-in-law actually work at Heritage Ranch in McKinney.
Yeah, sure.
And they, do events and things like that at PGA. And, we've talked to them and we're like, we'd love to work there. And, they kind of like their little community thing right now. But, things change, later down the road. We have a beautiful granddaughter now. So I'm pretty sure, I'm real sure she's going to be a golfer.
Love it. That's awesome. All right. So same question for you guys, and then we'll wrap up and we'll do our final segment here. But obviously you guys have to work a lot given, the restaurant and staff management and all that. So Hoyt, I know you play golf now, so we'll have to go out and swing the clubs a little bit.
Absolutely. Very, very seldom do I get to play. And you're correct. I mean, you're almost married to the business as far as the restaurant goes. 5.5 years over on 423. Anybody that's self-employed understands. I mean, employees are always a challenge. Staffing, just having enough people. So yeah, we work and work and work. We have very little free time, to be honest with you. Now with this recent transition, the Revel / Mudbugs, we're now open 7 days a week. So I've been working 7 days a week, But when we are together, again, it's, over a quiet dinner, and we find ourselves, strategizing and goal setting, because it just becomes ingrained in you. You talk about the things that you faced and, how can we be better? How can we, make everybody's experience better? And Jodie, kudos to you and your husband. I mean, y'all are incredible examples to your girls. I mean, they get to see firsthand, mom and dad are doing it and everything. Because we are great examples, not only to our children, but to our community, all of our customers. And so we sit and we strategize about, well, how can we do this better? And how, what could we change? Or, you're always in that growth mode of personal growth that, you grow in your business. It's hard to turn it off.
Yeah.
Literally, we come home exhausted, we'll eat something, and we're still talking about the restaurant. I wake up in the middle of the night, my brain starts, and before I know it, I'm up at 3 a.m. I can't go back to sleep. Not necessarily in a bad sort of way, but it's just things that are going, things that are progressing. We're constantly, not constantly, but we're in a growth mode with the Revel. So we're hiring new people, front of house, back of house. Everybody's got to get cross-trained. There's just a whole lot of moving parts right now, when we do get to turn it off, we love to go to the beach, just go away somewhere. It's not very often, but we try to just get away.
The beach, the gym, any kind of outlet is a good personal thing.
Well, kudos to both of you guys for, successfully running husband-wife businesses. Because, that it goes back to that collaboration word. It takes a lot of that to work as a husband-wife team. So good on you guys for doing that. What we're going to do right now, we got to take our last commercial break, and we're going to come back and we're going to talk about what's the difference. And I'm going to ask you guys a question. So stay tuned for that. We'll be right back.
At the Community Difference Business Development Alliance, powered by the Difference Media LLC, our mission is to empower small business owners by transcending acceptable behaviors and outcomes into exceptional realms. We foster a culture of self-awareness, accountability, and proactive engagement, guiding individuals to recognize and overcome indifference towards transformative actions, habits, behaviors, and processes driving meaningful change. Through strategic networking, impactful content creation, and innovative top-of-mind strategies, we cultivate brand relevance and differentiation, enabling our partners and the Difference community to stand out in crowded markets. With a focus on building authentic connections, amplifying brand presence, and driving sustainable growth, we equip entrepreneurs with the tools and mindset to navigate the complexities of entrepreneurship with confidence, innovation, and resilience. Together, we aim to be the catalyst for difference makers, propelling them towards their highest potential and leaving a lasting impact on their businesses and communities. That's where our community podcasts come in. These podcasts lie directly at the intersection of innovative business development and community involvement, helping to bridge the gap between small business obscurity often seen in our communities. The community-based podcasts called the Community Difference Series are an integral part of integrating all facets of modern business development into a package of great content, positive impact branding, and top-of-mind presence, thus fulfilling the greater mission we set forth. When we set out to be difference makers, we can learn to make a difference and find the success and impact innately desired by all business owners and entrepreneurs. We are difference makers.
And now it's time for What's the Difference?
All right, welcome back, and we are entering our final segment here. It's amazing how quickly an hour flies by. This segment's called What's the Difference, as you heard in that little sounder there. We only have about 5-6 minutes to do this, so I'm going to ask one question. I'm going to ask the question. You guys are going to give your answer. There is no right or wrong answer, and I will circle back with the official kind of Google or Webster's Dictionary answer that we've cultivated, or
AKA the correct answer. I'm just kidding.
No, there is no correct answer. No. So
I know. I'm just giving you crap.
Yeah, I know. I love it. I love crap. I get it all the time. All right. So with that, I'm going to, I picked the question here. What's the difference between having a vision and having a strategy? Okay. The difference between having a vision and having a strategy. So ladies first, to your detriment this time, Jodie, if you don't have an answer off the top of your head, you got to make one up. So what's your thoughts on that question?
Vision and strategy. So vision, I think it's kind of, especially for entrepreneurs, we kind of like imagine things a lot, on the inside of us. So I think the vision really is how that like looks and feels and kind of tastes on the inside of us, what we want to create. Strategy, though, is kind of like having to really get those physical steps of implementing and bringing that vision into reality. And so for me, that's kind of the main difference there.
Yeah, that's good. I like it. Good thoughts. All right, Dawn, Hoyt, you guys team up on this one. What's your thoughts on this question?
For me, as far as the vision that we're currently going through right now, I see so much potential, and there's just so much that I can do. And the strategy part is getting all these guys on board, because I'm the only female right now with 5 guys. And
so you have the opposite problem of Jodie.
Yeah, so I have my work, but they really value me, and they make me feel valued. And we got this. We're going to do this. It's going to be good. So it's just those physical steps, like Jodie said.
Yeah, if we could have gone first, I would have said what Jodie said. I mean, you have a vision, you have an outlook, a concept of something, but then you actually have to put a plan down on paper, A, B, C, D, whatever, but you have to get it implemented in some fashion to achieve that goal. And I think not to stay stagnant, your goals have to continue to change. I mean, that was our premise in trying to relocate, because being such a small restaurant, I mean, we knew we had maxed out. We couldn't go anywhere else. We couldn't do anything else. We're very handcuffed. So this opportunity really opens things up. I mean, the possibilities are limitless. You go from seating 50 people, when the Revel/Mudbugs is full, it's about 400. Wow. So it's huge difference, huge opportunity for us.
Yeah. And it's breaking it down, short-term goals, 6 months to a year. And then after that, those long-term.
Yeah. Awesome. Love it. Jax, real quick, your thoughts?
I was going to say, I really don't have much to add. They pretty much hit the nail on the head. It's like the big picture is the vision, and then like the strategy is how are we getting there? Like, what's our path? What's the roadmap? And that's pretty much it.
Yep. And both of those will keep you up at 3 a.m, as Hoyt alluded to earlier.
Absolutely.
1,000%.
That's been my experience. So real quick here, the Webster's Dictionary version or answer to the question of what's the difference between having a vision and having a strategy. A vision is the why behind your business, a long-term aspirational goal that inspires your actions. The strategy, on the other hand, is the how, the step-by-step plan to achieve your vision. While vision motivates, strategy provides the roadmap for execution. So I think you guys nailed it, right? I mean,
pretty close, yeah.
It was hard to top your original answer, Jodie, but I love the ads that you guys had. All right, with that, guys, we don't have time for another question. So what I'm going to do is just go around the horn here real quick. Jodie, please remind the audience who you are, what you do, 20 seconds, something like that. And then I have a question for you. So go right ahead.
Perfect. Well, I am Jodie Jolley, owner of Aven Willow Portraits. We're an all-day luxury portrait experience where you show up in pajamas and we take care of everything else in the studio, such as hair, makeup, beautiful wardrobe. We pose every part of you. We feed you charcuterie, champagne, have a fantastic day. And then in the end, we create the most beautiful portrait you've ever seen of yourself, and we change the way that you love yourself.
Love that. All right. And what's your key takeaway from being on the show today?
Oh my gosh. Well, just once again, diving into a community. I don't think I knew any of you guys before being invited to be on here. And I love that I got to make more connections, and especially going to be reaching out for our women's group to be able to come and help support restaurants. So.
Love it. Yep. And that's what it's all about. We meet new people through this venue here, and we make exceptional stuff happen. So that's awesome. All right, over to the lowers. Guys, just remind everybody about mud bugs here real quick, 20 seconds or less, and then same question to you. What's your key takeaway from the show today?
All right, we are the Rebel Patio Grill / Mudbugs Bar and Grill, dual concept restaurant. We're on Preston Road. A lot of opportunity with live music, nice bar, good Cajun food, good Americana food. Love to see everybody. Jodie, anything you can do, bring your group. We'd love it. It was a pleasure to meet you guys. Yeah, networking is a key in a community. We are a mom and pop shop, just like a lot. That's what this country's founded on. And we appreciate the opportunity to be here. I guess my biggest takeaway was I was more nervous than I should have been, because it really was laid back, easy going. We really enjoyed it, and we appreciate the opportunity you gave us.
For sure. Well, we're glad you guys could have your first podcast experience with us. You're a family of firsts here. First podcast, first partnership in Frisco, dual restaurant in Frisco. So you guys are blazing trails. Love it. All right. With that, guys, we have to wrap. We are up against it. Jax, thank you so much for being my co-host today. As always, great to see you. Great to see your heart sweater today as well. Jodie, Dawn, and Hoyt, awesome having you guys as guests. It was a pleasure hearing your story and sharing your story with the audience. So thank you so much. Have a great weekend. We will be back here same time next Thursday, 2:30 p.m. Until then, stay warm this weekend. It's going to get cold, but we'll see you next week. Bye, y'all.
Thank you for watching today's show.
The Community Difference Frisco was made possible by Brian Poduska with Real Property Management Focus, Bethany Ralwin with the Beer Ralwin Realty Group, Tracy Churchman with Best Buddies, Jacqueline Crider with PBJ Mortgage, Debbie Watson with Team Watson Redeemers, Eric Buchanan with Goosehead Insurance, Meena Singh, college counselor and prep coach, and by Lauren Gill with My Live, Love, Travel. The Community Difference Frisco. Together, we can make the difference.